What's up, everybody? Back at you with another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where you already know it's real and it's raw. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, and make sure to hit that notification button. It's important. So the other day, I told everybody that we were going to do a video on Pike. Those of you that have read the book, you know exactly who Pike is. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to call in to do an interview because the jail ended up on lockdown. So I'm still waiting on a call from him whenever the prison comes off lockdown. You're going to get to hear from Aaron. You're going to get to see what he looks like and hear his voice. But we're still going to do a video on Pike. Maybe we'll call it part one. And because we talked about the ABTs and Dinky, this all plays into Pike's story and what happened with him at USP Big Sandy and how he almost died. But his story is important, and it's important for a reason. Because somebody out there right now is watching this video that might be in the same position that he was in. We're going to read a little bit from the book, but before we get there, we're going to talk about how he ended up in federal prison. Aaron started in state prison. He met a dude that he kind of idolized. This guy was a big drug dealer. He was from California or Arizona. He was a border brother, a Mexican dude. He was the connect, so to speak, right? The guy that everybody wants to meet. And Aaron met him. He met him in state prison. He was doing a short little bid for, I think it was a burglary or a bullshit robbery. And they became friends. He idolized Danny, like I said. And Danny told him, man, when you get out, man, I'm going to make you rich. All I need is a connect where you're from. I need a connect in Jamestown, New York. I'm the supplier. I got you. And Aaron feeds into the narrative. And he believes everything that Danny tells him. And Danny ends up getting out a couple months before Pike. He goes to what we had back then in New York, a work release program. And Pike follows behind him shortly after. Gives him a call, they hook up, and Danny is exactly who he said he was. He's the connect. He's got the weed. Yeah, it's a weed case. It's a weed case. But it's bigger than that. Aaron was in his 20s when he was eventually sentenced to life in prison over this case. So anyway, Aaron starts getting shipments of weed, and he's doing his thing. He becomes the man. He's that dude in Jamestown, New York. All because Danny is the connect. He's the man. He's got it. He's a border brother. And eventually, one of the dudes that Aaron's selling a bunch of weed to, he's fronting him weed, a kid named Richard. I think it was Richard Alessia. And Richard decides when he gets 100 pounds that he's going to steal it. But he's going to come up with a plot. He's going to tell Aaron that a bunch of black dudes robbed him for 100 pounds of weed. He's sorry. And in his young mind, he thought that it would all go away. And that's the moral of this story. That so many young men lost their lives because of irrational, irresponsible choices. And you don't want to be that dude. You don't want to be the Richards of this world. Or the Greg Pattersons or the Aaron Pikes. So Aaron owes this money to Danny. No way out of it. In Aaron's mind, this guy's a dangerous Mexican drug dealer that'll kill you and cut your fingers off, right? And Danny's demanding blood. He wants his weed back, or he wants his money somehow, some way. Someone has to pay. And the government alleges that Aaron got a hold of this kid that he knew that was using drugs, Greg Patterson. And they offer him money and a couple pounds of weed to allegedly kill this kid. And I guess Richard probably thought that, everything's cool. You know, he just blames it on someone else and he can get away with keeping 100 pounds of weed back then, what, $2,000 a pound? $200,000. So Richard's life was worth $200,000 in weed. And all kinds of people fell. All kinds of people went to prison over this case. So Richard's thinking, he's all right, but he's a little bit nervous maybe. So he brings his homeboy up from North Carolina. His homeboy's got a big gun, and he's supposed to be his alleged bodyguard. And let me show you how childish these dudes were. They get a call from Greg Patterson, allegedly, according to the government. And this case is long over with. They're all sentenced. Some of them 30 years, 35 years. Some of them life. Some of them are home. Case is long done. But Aaron allegedly pays Greg to take care of this business, right? And Greg calls Richard, and he tells Richard, hey, Richard, I got a Nintendo for sale, or a PlayStation, whatever it was back then. He said, I got like 50 games. And they're thinking, oh, man, this dude's a fiend. We're about to buy this shit cheap. And they're like, okay, where you at? He tells them where he's at. He said, but the PlayStation's out at my cousin's house, or my aunt's house, and we got to drive out there. It's out in the country. So they come get him. Greg jumps in the car. There's child locks on the doors. That's significant. You'll find out why. Jumps in the back seat, and he tells me, yeah, it's out here in the country, man. They're driving. And what does Greg do? Gets out in the country, and he pulls out a gun. He shoots both of these dudes in the back of the head. Bang, 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 bang. Bullet in the back of the head comes out of one of their eyes. And they take their last breath thinking they were going to buy a bunch of games real cheap from some dude that's a drug addict, right? To them, he's just a simple old drug addict. And now they're dead. Greg doesn't want to climb over their bodies. There's blood everywhere. He doesn't want their blood on him. But there's child locks and he can't get out of the car. So he busts out the window, climbs out of the window, cuts himself. And now here's that thing back then, DNA. It's when it was all first getting started. A bunch of people are arrested. Pike's cousin spills the beans, so to speak. They're all in jail now. Facing life. And this is significant because I want you to think about this. I met Pike in pretrial. We became friends. We were cool long before we went to prison. And I'm on a visit with him at the same time. We're in this immigration facility that they're housing us in. There's no contact visits. We're talking through glass. Aaron's in the booth next to me. I'm in the booth next to him. He's with his mother. I'm with my mother, ironically. And I hear his mother crying. She's weeping and asking him to plead guilty, to not go to trial. Because they're going to give him the death penalty. She tells him, they're going to kill you. Please don't do this to us, Aaron. And Aaron comforts his mother, tries to act like he's going to, cop out and just do the right thing and take a 30-year plea. But he doesn't do it. Instead, his idol, Danny Diaz, directs him to continue to proceed to trial. And Aaron's a really intelligent person. I give him that. Very, very intelligent dude. And he decides he's going to represent himself at trial. And he does. This is a death penalty case. They could kill these dudes, right? He's going to represent himself. And he represents himself. But on the day of trial, Danny Diaz decides he's going to fold. He's going to take a plea. Danny takes a plea of 35 years and agrees to put in work on Aaron. Gets on the stand. He testifies. Aaron's convicted. And when the gavel comes down, he's sentenced to life in prison. Aaron is going to die in prison. I just helped him do his compassionate release motion. Did all that stuff for free. Because it's his only hope. It's his last hope. He gets convicted in the state too. He gets life in the state as well. He's still hoping. He wrote me an email the other day and he says, Chad, man, congratulations on getting married and having kids. He said, in my crazy mind, I somehow think that I might have the same chance to get married and have kids. And that's his hope talking, because he knows deep in his heart that sadly and unfortunately he's probably doomed. Aaron will probably never get out of prison. And the crazy part is, if he did, I believe that he would stay out. He ends up in Big Sandy, and he's mistaken for someone else from another prison, and he gets stabbed. Gets stabbed numerous times. Almost loses his life there. They say live by the sword, die by the sword, right? And we're going to get into, him getting stabbed and stuff, but this is Aaron's story, and hopefully you're going to hear from him. You'll hear from him soon. But I want to read a little bit out of the book. I'm going to skip through chapter 32. And then we're going to talk about what it was like for him to get stabbed numerous times. Adam's actions ensured that we were locked down for a week. When we are released, the warden allows us to go to the commissary. During the lockdown, I had very little food. Hunger is one of the worst feelings a person can have behind these walls. Hunger pains make me hate this prison life even more. There's a knock on my door. Looking up, I see Pike's face in the window. I wave him in. What's up, Pike? I ask, sensing his nervousness. Man, with everyone in the car gone, I'm worried about Dinky and these dudes trying to get me, Pike says with a frown. You're cool. We still got people, and them dudes ain't trying to do shit, bro. Trust me on that. We can still crush them. For real. I think I'm in danger with Steve and Adam gone, Chad. Frustrated, I respond. Look, man, you're not in danger. These dudes are scared of us without or with Adam and Steve. Doesn't matter. Pike nods. You got me, right? If they make a move on me, right? What type of question is that? You're my dog. When they stab you, I'll be there to help you. Come on, don't fucking joke like that, Chad. Man, you scary motherfucker, I got you. We got each other. If they try to attack you, man, I got your back, Pike. Dude, I've been dwelling on this shit the whole lockdown. I ain't trying to die in here, Chad. I take a deep breath before replying. Man, you're good. If they even think about doing something, we're smashing them, kid. I reach out with my clenched fist to give Pike a pound, a formal way of telling him he is going to be safe. As Pike leaves my cell, I shake my head, second-guessing my own reassurances. He makes me think that the ABTs might just try their luck. We still have a deep car. Even with our leadership gone, we far outnumber the gang members. And I'm going to skip a little bit to get into what happens. It has only been a few weeks since Steve and Adam were taken off the yard. For no apparent reason, Ronnie has pulled a Chris Angel act. He disappeared today. Ronnie did the unthinkable. He decided to check in. On his way to protective custody, he stole Tal's radio and headphones, along with 20 flat books of stamps. With only a few years left on his sentence, I can only imagine he was tired of being here. Maybe the leadership position was too much for him. Our car is deflated, moving slowly on flat tires. There is no structure. People can see our car unraveling, becoming weak. We look like a wounded lions now, hyenas, salivate, all around us. Pike and I are now a two-man team. His paranoia has caused him to make himself a stab vest. The vest is fashioned from a button-up shirt. He's sewn in large pockets where he can put books that he hopes will deflect prison shanks. A bigger shirt goes over the stab vest to prevent staff from noticing the protective gear. Pike has been wearing his stab vest for a week now. He has a job as a clerk in education, so he has to go back and forth by himself. Early this morning, I noticed Pike did not have his vest on. "What's up, Pike?" "Nothing," he says. "I'm running late." "I see you were not wearing your G-Unit vest today," I say, laughing. "Man, fuck it. It's too uncomfortable." "Well, I see you ain't paranoid no more. Thank God for that," I laugh. "Whatever's going to happen is going to happen." He alters his pitch, mimicking the Russian from the Rocky movie. "If I die, I die." He says this jokingly, heading out the door. "I'll see you when you get back, Pike." He disappears into the crowd of men going to work. It's a cold November morning. Pike navigates his way through the hallways, legal folders tucked under one arm. His vest hangs in his locker. Pike is unaware that he's being stalked by an ABT prospect named Russell and an Aryan Brotherhood prospect named Pinky. Once they are within striking distance, Russell is the first to attack. He sticks a bone crusher into Pike's back, then rips it out. Pinky plunges another sharp prison shank into Pike's back. Both lungs are now punctured. Pike's paranoia has manifested into a reality. 3 more stabs follow in rapid succession, hitting Pike in the head. He turns towards his attackers. He gasps for air, vainly trying to muster what is necessary for him to fight back. His attempts are futile. He is stabbed again. This time in both hands and his face. A knife goes through his nose and lip. Pike falls to the ground in panic's grip as other prisoners look on in awe. Gaping at the battle before them, no one steps in to stop the attack. Pike's hands go to his face in an attempt to deflect the knives. Russell and Pinky keep swinging their cold steel knives. Both of Pike's hands are fractured, leaking blood. He kicks up with his feet at his attackers, fighting for his life, struggling to breathe. Death seems to be inevitable. Staff flock into the court and order the men to drop their weapons. Pinky looks at the guard, barking orders, his heart racing. Exhausted, he complies. Russell follows suit. He relinquishes his shanks, opening his hands to let them clatter to the concrete. The menacing steel bounces off the hard floor, loud in the now silent hallway. Like a wounded soldier, Pike stands up, blood gushing from his face, hands, head, and back. Finding strength via willpower, he rips his shirt off, balls it up, and wipes the blood from his face. He has the presence of mind to tell Pinky and Russell that they are both whores for stabbing him from behind. Somehow, Pike walks himself to medical, where 2 20-gauge needles are stuck in his back and duct taped to his skin. Oxygen is pumped into his depleted lungs. Officials request a chopper to mercy flight Pike to a hospital, but inclement weather scuppers the transfer. Instead, he lays in a hospital bed, while Big Sandy medical staff fight to save his life. At the hospital, the puncture wounds are tallied. 14 in total. Both hands are broken, both lungs punctured. Lacerations litter his beaten body, maliciously, though Pike lives. The hit on Pike was sanctioned by Dinky and a California brand gang member. Because our car had been so depleted, they took the opportunity to cause havoc. Cunning and secretive, the gang members waited for their chance. When that chance came knocking, they answered with violence. Pike committed no sin severe enough to warrant the brutal assault. It all stemmed from that USP Hazleton incident, the same place Irish mobster Whitey Bulger met his maker. Although Pike never assaulted anyone at Hazleton, he was nearly murdered for warning the independents of an incoming attack. As a prospecting member of the Aryan Brotherhood, Pinky was selected to seek retribution. Pinky had less than 2 years remaining on his sentence prior to his attempted murder of Pike. Most prisoners are never charged in federal court for a vicious attack unless another convict dies. This time, though, it appears Big Sandy has had enough. Russell and Pinky are charged. Russell accepts a 15-year plea. Pinky elected to go to trial, was convicted, and eventually sentenced to 25 more years for the assault on Pike. His life now fizzled out. The cop is telling us to lock in. I have no idea what just happened in the hallway. Someone grabs me by the arm. It's the Chad. Chad, they just hit your homie. What? It does not register at first. Pike, bro, they just killed him. I know he just said Pike's name, but for some reason, I don't want to acknowledge it. So I asked him to say it again. Who? Your cellmate, your homeboy, Pike. Man, the cop said he's dead. Get the fuck away from me, I say angrily. My heart is instantly saddened as I replay what he said to me just 10 minutes ago in the mock Russian accent. If I die, I die. As I walk to my cell, someone tells me it was Pinky and that ABT dude Russell. My mind is in uncharted territory. I close my cell door behind me and punch the wall. Desperate, alone. I know that I too am a target. Everyone knows how close Pike and I are. Since Ronnie's exit, some of the guys have urged me to take the keys to the car. Other factions wanted just one independent car. Ace has lobbied to be the leader. Both of us dislike each other, and I know that we need real leadership. In this dog-devour-dog world, it is either me or him. He knows it. I know it. What he does not know is I do not want to be the shot caller. I simply want to leave this bluegrass prison behind me. I am going to leave. I just don't know how. The metal lock clinks in the door. I am alone. Again, I stare out the window into a silent prison yard. The sun does what it always does. It dances on the razor wire. I take a deep breath. Exhaling, I contemplate my next move. I know my next move must be my best move. That's prison, man. That's prison. So if you're out there getting money right now, you got that connect, you got to think about if someone does the wrong thing. Someone robs you. You got to protect the image that you project, right? That's what Pike thought. He thought he had to protect the image that he was projecting. He thought he had to pretty much kill these kids, man. Or have these kids killed, allegedly. I mean, they're dead. But the government alleges that he's the guy behind it. He lost his life. His life's gone. The 2 kids in the car, their lives are gone. Greg Patterson was sentenced to life in state prison, and he won an appeal. And I believe he was resentenced to 30 years in the state. He was also sentenced to 30 years in the feds. That means Greg Patterson, the shooter, will get out of prison. That means that Aaron Pike, the person who allegedly paid Greg to kill these dudes or whatever, he will die in prison. And there's some people watching this video that say, well, maybe he deserves to die in prison. And this is kind of like some of the stuff that I talk about. I don't promote violence. I don't promote, gossiping about people and, saying whatever you want to say and acting like you're the toughest dude in the country or whatever, the toughest dude in the jail. But sometimes you get people where there's an understanding that you're going to do this and I'm going to do that. And whoever wins, wins. Well, who won? Who won in this situation? No one won. Richard's parents had to bury a son. The other kid, his parents had to bury him. Aaron's family had to bury him in a prison, buried alive. Greg Patterson, 30 years. Danny Diaz, 35 years. It was all over money. And now none of them got any money. They're all broke. I was actually in USP League with Greg Patterson. One of the toughest dudes I know. Physically with his hands, dangerous, dangerous dude. I was also with him in, pre-trial place where he just punished this dude over like $15 in commissary. He beat him senseless. So don't get it twisted. Just because he was a drug addict, he was definitely a tough-ass dude. One of the toughest dudes I've ever met in my life. And he also had that thing that, some people don't have. A lot of people don't have. People say it all the time. Oh, anybody could kill anyone. It's probably not that easy to just kill someone. People kill people in the heat of the moment. But this was allegedly a calculated murder. A dangerous murder where he just shot these dudes in the back of the head. Like it was nothing. All for a couple $1,000s. Lost his life. 30 years. 30 years in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And I can tell you he's probably going to do almost every bit of that. I'm sure all of his good times gone by now. He was always involved in something. So, and he's getting high in prison too. Dirty errands, loses good time. It's all over with. It's what it is. It's all over with. Prison. What do you think it felt like for Aaron to get stabbed? And he knew it. He had that intuition. He knew that it was coming. I doubted it on many occasions. Like, nah. And then you start to get comfortable. Like, we're good. He got comfortable and didn't wear that vest. I used to joke with him about that vest. It's ironic that it was the day that he didn't put it on that they came and they hit him. They still would have got him in the face and in the back of the head. But they probably wouldn't have punctured his lungs. He could have lost his life. I thought he was dead. They told me he was dead. I didn't know he was alive until days later. And then we became cellies in the hole, and you guys heard that story. And really, man, they stabbed his kid for nothing, man. He didn't do anything to their brothers. He didn't hit them, wasn't involved in the assault at USP Hazleton. He wasn't involved in anything. Except for telling some of his homeboys, like, yo, watch your back in the morning. These dudes are plotting on you. He told them in sign language through the window, from unit to unit. And he gets massacred. I know it's prison life, right? I know there's dudes on here that been to prison and you're watching this video and you're like, he had it coming. He should have minded his business. Well, it was his business to a certain extent. Those were his people. He was an independent at the time. And, those are the repercussions, right? Those are the repercussions. And that's why I talk about, like, people make comments, oh, white this, white that. It's not about talking shit about white people. It's talking about white people that claim to be one thing and, you take advantage of your own people. You destroy your own people. You want to talk about those 14 words of, we must secure the existence of our race in the future for white people or white children? Well, when you're in prison getting high, man, shooting dope, what are you doing for your kids? Think about that, because that's the thing that I found ironic. You're in this white gang with this white ideology, but you're running around here buying dope. You're running around here getting high. I don't know, you tell me. You tell me what you really stand for. Show me your leader and I'll tell you about your people. Take that one to the bank. Don't ever forget it. Really, man, today's message is, again, what are you worth? That kid was worth 200 grand. His kids are growing up without a dad. He's got kids too. Aaron Pike, gone. No kids. Never had a wife. Never really experienced life. Life as he knows it is forever lost. Life as he knows it will be spent in a jail cell, in a maximum security federal prison. And he ended up transferred to a prison in Illinois, one of the most dangerous prisons over there, for 9 years. And then they just brought him back and put him in a federal USP all over again. And that's where he's at. He's in prison. What does he aspire to be? The head cook? What does he have left in life? What would you have left in life if you were in this situation and you ended up with a life sentence? You're not there right now. So you've got the ability to change it. You're in the driver's seat. There's 2 roads. Which one are you going to drive down? If you take this road, I promise you, in 10, 15 years, the only person left will be your mother. All your friends will be gone, girlfriend gone, wife gone. And you'll be trying to be the head cook in the kitchen. Or you'll be trying to be the lead line man at Unicor so you can make $200 a month. $200 a month. Or work in the kitchen and make $90 a month. And you can eat as much as you want in there. Because that's what it becomes. Everybody hustles in there for 90% of the people hustle in there so they can eat. So they can get some food. Because the food's so horrible. You go to bed hungry at night. Starving. You go to bed starving at night. So what do you want to be, man? You want to be the head cook? You want to be the line leader in Unicor? You want to be the head janitor buffing the floors? or you want to be a father and a husband? If I were you, I'd choose the father and a husband road. Because all this money you're getting right now, at the end of the day, it don't mean shit. Because it'll all be gone in the blink of an eye. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, and stay tuned for Aaron's interview in his own words. It's coming soon, I promise. Blood on the Razor Wire. Grab that book, too. Until tomorrow, with respect, we're out.